did you?
I, I know I know exactly what you're talking about,
Yeah,
and similarly, it's I also get distracted when I read an author who, instead of just saying something, they maybe take 3 or 4 paragraphs to say something. The color of the sky, the leaves on the trees, or whatever. They go into this almost poetic kind of writing for all this time, which just to me is just blah 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 words
right,
that aren't helping keep the story moving. And I'm not that kind of flowery kind of writer, I
right,
guess.
right.
Yeah.
It was, yeah. So I also love the fact that Lauren, you wrote her in such a strong way. Thank you very much for writing a strong, smart female. Um, she was a great contributor. She wasn't just eye candy. She didn't just play that part, of the story. She
Mhm.
wasn't just the girlfriend. She wasn't a damsel. She
Not at
she
all.
really was helpful. She was a partner. She was an equal to him, and I love the fact that he listened, to her and took her counsel and took her heed in different places. And she was just very strong. So, what made you write her in that way?
You know, I'm 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 someone who always says that I think sometimes male characters are so one-dimensional and kind of boring, and you've seen it all before. Again,
Mm-hmm.
especially in the political action thriller genre. Again, I love them. I read it all the time, but sometimes, again, I don't want to know that someone can handle every situation. I like a strong female character. I think they're so much more interesting. In fact, my murder mystery series actually has the main two characters are a female FBI
Oh.
agent and a female investigative reporter. I that was intentional. I wanted the female lead to draw
Mm.
to lead the investigation in that series around serial killers. They're definitely not damsels in distress, right?
Right,
Um,
right.
that gets kind of boring and cliche. So what made me write her that way is I can imagine that, if I were Keith, and admittedly, many of his characteristics were me fantasizing what I would like to be, you know, the rich, rancher and all the
Right,
cooking and great wine collection and all that.
right,
It's just me and the yacht. That was me or want to be me. Um, she's the kind of partner I would want to have in
right,
something like that.
right,
Someone who's the equal in so many ways. Someone who's brilliantly smart in her
mm-hmm.
own way. On that career track. As a professor, whatever it may be. I find them much more interesting than, as you said, just being the eye candy or the arm candy,
Right,
someone there to support the hero. I wanted them to be on as equal footing as possible, and at the same time, want to be clear that she's no more the true secret agent than he was. They were just
right,
every man, every woman
right.
trying to stay alive.
Trying to stay alive. Yeah, I really did like that, and um suffered a lot of, you know, went through a lot of things together. Like
Yeah,
went
they
through
did.
went through a lot of things. I also love that because they weren't spy agents, it's not their background. They weren't like, yeah, I know exactly what I'm doing. I also like that some of the choices that they made were not choices that I agreed with. Like, wait, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing that? Or why are
Sure.
you, risking to go like eat here or do this? And I think I liked that because they weren't experts. They were regular people who found themselves, or they are regular people who find themselves in this situation. And
You didn't know
that's
fully
life.
what they were up against. I mean, they knew they were up against the bad guys, but they didn't understand what the bad guys, if you will, resources were, how
Right.
widespread they were,
Right.
what all their technology capabilities were, monitoring them, observing them, surveilling them, all those things. They just didn't have a feel for exactly what that was.